the you read the Tanakh or the Torah in Hebrew or Aramaic, or how do you read it?
I'll answer that in different ways. Okay. So there's a halacha to read the Torah, I believe, twice in Hebrew and once in Aramaic weekly. That's the halacha. Okay. I'm not saying I fulfill that halacha, but that's a standard. I mean, I read it in Hebrew. I mean, I lived in Israel for 5 years. I mean, I know the lingo. Right? Aramaic, I'll compare certain words to try to prove a certain concept. Not that it makes it any more authoritative, but we could assume that his translation of the Chumash back then was understood in a certain way to in some way differ with the modern day interpretation. That's the only way I use the Aramaic. The truth is that commandment of having to read it in Aramaic just means to read it in the common tongue. Just the common tongue in the time of Chazal was Aramaic. So this is why we're in some way stuck with, or we think we're stuck with, Targum Onkelos. From a practical perspective, if you read the Torah in Hebrew and in English every week, you would fulfill that halacha.
It's very interesting. Everything that is happening in the world, religion, what happened in Israel. It's just I come across a lot of Muslims. They always bring up all these verses from the Samuel and Malachi. They love that part of the Torah.
I mean, it's okay that they bring it up as long as they're self-aware that their history and their theology is a bit more problematic than the theology that gave birth to theirs. It's almost a sign of an ingrate. I mean, someone who can't acknowledge, you know what? We made it this far because of everyone who came before us. The New Testament and Christians, the Torah and Jews. No, they'll throw it all away and say, we have the correct understanding to all of this. But, I mean, I get it. I mean, they have to solidify a place in the religious atmosphere for themselves by delegitimizing everything that came before. This is what people have to do when they want to create something new by destroying what's old. Instead of kind of build a nicer tapestry and say, maybe Islam and the Quran could be an Arabized form of Torah. No, I mean, they had to delegitimize Torah, delegitimize the scholars and say that we deliberately corrupted Torah. And it sort of set itself in an unethical trajectory till now you have the average Muslim not holding honesty as a value. Right? I mean, they'll lie straight out. They'll exaggerate. I mean, they're as bad as leftists when it comes to this.
Yeah,
It's true.
that's right.
There are a lot of beautiful Muslims out there, okay? But when it comes to pushing an agenda, like, I don't want to make the show about this, but when it comes to pushing Israel-Palestine, they will lie. Or they'll lie by omission. They'll make other people lie in their behalf by promoting, unsubstantiated stories, right? They lie. Well, I think one way to gauge who's more intellectually honest in on any issue is how much dissent they allow amongst their rank. Meaning, you know how many Jewish people are pro-Palestine? Tons, and everybody knows one or two. How many Muslims? How many